Gentlemen, welcome to the first episode here in Kyle's KAT build. I'm gonna try and be as informative as I can with this whole series because I know a lot of you guys are considering going KAT because honestly, me personally, I prefer it over SR. Reason one being, they're a 2.4 liter and I think they sound honestly a little bit better when they're boosted. You know what I mean? To each their own, but for me, KAT is the way to go if I'm choosing 4-banger. So yeah, today I think I'm going to be going ahead and working on the excessive intake manifold. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to have questions on this thing. So I'm going to try and go ahead and let you guys know where everything goes. Because I'm sure some of you are probably thinking of this option. I'm not too sure how expensive these things are, but they seem pretty decent. I haven't really heard too much stuff about them, but regardless, we're going to start here at the back, guys. It looks right here to me, this is going to be your brake booster vacuum port. This is going to be for your AAC. They actually have a little plate made right here. I don't know if you can buy this or if this was custom made, but that is for your AAC. Moving on to the front here, this looks like a coolant port, which is actually going to go and tie back in on the block, I believe right here. Not this port. This is, I think, one of the heater lines, and then this is for the intake manifold. And then this obviously is for your radiator hose, and then obviously you got your 2 ports for your 2 sensors, and that's essentially it. Now there are also 2 little vacuum ports right there. Actually, no, yep, just 2. See, we might have to tap one or something like that. So we'll get there when we get there. Maybe make a little T section or something. So I figured it was a good time to update you guys on what I've been doing here. Basically, just been going through all the hoses. I got my heater hoses all done. I have, let's see, some of my fuel lines already ran. We got just a straight through barb right there, as you guys can see in the center of the screen on the PCV, because we're actually running a catch can setup, so we don't want the restrictor valve in that location. And then from here, you guys can see we have our first heater hose that goes all the way in to the heater block right there. And then we have this guy coming in down, and then it goes into this little fitting right there. And I just have a quick little zip tie just to kind of keep them tucked in close to the block. And then we have, by the way, the size is 5/8 for the heater hoses for 240s. And right here we have a 3/4 heater hose that's actually going to be going from, as you guys can see, from the bottom where the water pump is, near the water neck, or whatever you want to call that little area, and that's going to come in and hook up into the bottom of the intake manifold. Went ahead and swapped out the old oil filter right quick. Been playing with his distribution block right here. Unfortunately, the main power wire is super stiff, so it doesn't really bend. Like that radius right here around this little strut tower is like as tight as it can get. And it's just kind of a pain to work with. So at the bottom there we have our starter wire, main power. And then I have this little guy right here. That's the fuse box. I kind of extended it. Fuse box power, obviously, that's going to go into this distribution block as well. But I'm going to talk to Kyle first, Kyle being the owner of this whole car, and just ask him where he wants this distribution block at, if he wants to keep the power wire. So we'll hang off, on that till I see him probably on Thursday or Friday. Went ahead and just tossed in a Z32 fuel filter right there for him. Ran the fuel lines, kind of. We have our return line here, and then we have, just hooked up, little line down there. Gonna make a nice little bracket for him to hold up the firewall nice and neat. Started working on the power steering, got all the hoses ran, except for the high pressure one to the pump. For some reason, I don't know if this is a different pump or what, but it's not really working with the line that we have. So I'm gonna talk to Kyle, see what is going on, and go around that, whatever we have to. Obviously, you guys saw we had the turbo bolted on. I did that a while ago, or at least last week. Sorry, the wiring is kind of in the way. I'm probably going to go ahead and just toss on the intake manifold now, just because I can. The only reason why I took it off is to get all the hoses and stuff ran underneath, just because it's so much easier getting all the hose clamps tight and stuff like that without that without that being in the way. So we're going to get our gasket back on there. We're going to get the intake manifold back on there. And yeah, there really isn't too much to be done. It may look like it, kind of. The intercooler piping is kind of messing me up a little bit. It's a little bit tricky. I don't know if... Apparently this kit was on a car before, you know what I mean? So Kyle just bought this off someone else, so it should work. For some reason, unless that, I don't exactly know where everything was when it was off the car, but I have a pretty decent idea, what makes sense. but it's not really making sense. You know, you can start one piece and the second piece is just like way off. So we'll work with that. But yeah, it's coming along. So our intake manifold is on, all bolted up, tightened down, looks great. Also went ahead and kind of routed the wiring, so, but it actually is kind of a tuck, I guess. It's all underneath, you know what I mean? It's all underneath. I'll show you guys here. So basically, you know, for the fuel injectors, they'll just come up on the side, wrap around, plug in. You know, same thing for all these ones here. Sorry if I'm, but you guys get the idea. They'll all come up and wrap up on top, so you won't really see it. Makes it look a whole lot cleaner. You know, kind of have it coming under through there. You know, got our coolant temp sensors. Oh, got our coolant temp sensors and stuff like that. So, you know what I mean. Looks really good. I like this intake manifold. It's amazing how much cleaner and how much more space you have with this manifold as opposed to the factory one. Whoa, got myself a light. So we got it going through, you know, up to the distributor. And then, you know, we have our one for the map, which will be over here somewhere. And yeah, but for tonight, I think it's going to be it. I'm going to go ahead and do some video recording. I got a good amount of stuff done today. Pretty happy, you know, with where we're at. Still got a few things we have to order as far as we need like a throttle body gasket. We need a IAC valve gasket as well. So just a few little small things. Got to figure out this intake, you know, this intercooler piping situation. He's got a fuel rail coming for me, injectors, fuel pump, some other stuff, but I also got to put a fuel pressure regulator in, but we're getting there.